great morning. I am Michelle Patrice Wade of Beautifully Reconstructed. We are the ministry in which we encourage those who have experienced brokenness that God can take those pieces and beautifully reconstruct them to allow them to thrive into their divine destiny. Now, on today, I have someone who I share life with, my king, my husband, my love, Mr. Mark Wade.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining me
You're
on
welcome.
today.
You're welcome.
You can smile a little bit like you want to be here. Like you're excited to be
Yeah, I'm
here.
excited to be here.
You are okay. Well, Mr. Mark Wade, I know about you, but tell the audience a little bit about who you are.
Well, I'm originally from York, South Carolina. I have two sons. Um, I moved to Greenville when I got married to you at 43. Um, I love the Lord. Try to be a encourager to everybody I meet. Try to inspire people. Just want God do God's will.
Amen. Amen. Well, you talk about being from York and you move when you're 43. So that in that statement, you had lived in York all your life.
Yes,
Now, how's it being away from York?
it's different. It's a little different. The traffic, um, more people. Um, it's like stuff more closer. Like when I was living in York, the nearest mall was like 30, 40 minutes away. And now it's like 10 minutes away. So
Yes.
it's a little difference like that. This is like I had to get used to seeing the fire trucks instead of maybe now and then in York, now and then in Greenville, you hear pretty much every day.
It's
So
right around the
it's
corner.
like different stuff like that, but it's good. I enjoy Greenville a lot.
Okay, good. Now you said since you moved to Greenville when you married moi.
Hmm.
Tell everybody about our experience from your perspective.
Well, I got well, I'm gonna start from when I got divorced. I was
Mm-hmm.
divorced when I was 37, 2014. Well, I separated in 2014. It's when I was in a relationship where it was cheating involved. And I just got tired of it. I just got tired. And one day I was going to get me and my boys something to eat, and I literally heard God say, "Let her go," just like that. Let her go. So I came back home and I said, "If you don't want to be here, you ain't got to be here." So she left, and two boys stayed with me. And I never forget, I wasn't working. My house was under foreclosure. I didn't have a job. I had a date on a foreclosure. The day before the foreclosure, the mortgage company called me up and said, "Mr. Wade, I need you to bring $250 up to the mortgage company." I said, "Okay." And so I took the $250 up there, and she told me, she said, "Wait in the waiting room for a minute." And so I waited about 20 minutes. She called me back. She said, "Mr. Wade, we're going to put the money that you owed and put it back in your mortgage so you can keep your house and
Yeah.
give you a new payment."
Yes.
And that's when I really seen her. I seen God. I believed in God then, but when I seen it, I was like, "Lord, you did this. I can't believe you did
It
this."
elevated your faith.
Yes. And then next I got a job, and then it was just like it was hard during that time because I was trying to raise these two teenagers by myself. I was trying to make sure they was on the right path, trying to feed them, make sure they had clothes, and it was difficult, and I wasn't making a lot of money. So it showed me it showed me who your real source is. You people think their job is your source, you think people is your source, but I realized during that season God was my source, no
Yes.
matter what. So he would provide for me when I didn't have. He
Yes.
stretched money that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And he showed me during that season that I'm with you always, no matter what. And so I went through that. I had, so much hatred in my heart. I had so much frustration. And for about the first 2.5 years, there was so much frustration. And then I kept praying to God, I want this house, I want a wife, I want this. And then literally God sit me down one day. He said, you praying for all this stuff, but you got all this hatred, unforgiveness in your heart, but you want me to expect me to bless you like that. I can't bless you like that. You got to forgive. I know what they did. You know what they did. I know what they did. You let me fight that for you. I got this. And so I really had to get in my word. I really had. I thought I knew about forgiveness until that season.
Yeah.
I really thought I knew forgiveness, but he really taught me about forgiveness during that season.
That's so impactful because oftentimes, it's challenging for us to forgive because we feel as if they don't deserve to be forgiven. However, when we look at our lives, did we deserve to be forgiven? So the same grace that, we want God to extend to us regardless of what has been done to us. We have to extend that. And it's not for the other person, it's for us. Because and even in this moment, God was showing you that you wanted something from him, but he just wanted your obedience in the area of forgiveness.
Yes, amen. And so when I met you, I ain't gonna front. I thought a woman like you never existed because I thought I, I thought my house wasn't good enough. I thought my house wasn't good enough. I thought my bank account wasn't good enough. So I always felt in my mind I wasn't good enough. And so when I met you, I never get the first time you really caught my attention is when she said I ain't gonna you said you gonna pray for me, and then you said before we wouldn't get off the phone till you see me step in the house. Ain't nobody ever made sure I was good like that. I'm making sure everybody else was good like that, but wasn't nobody making sure I was good like that.
And that was after our first
Yeah,
date
yeah,
where, yeah, we went on and you had to drive back.
yeah. And so I remember that I said, God, just continue to show me this woman. And then I remember in December we had went to church for New Year's. Um, I knew right then and there, I said, that's gonna be my wife. And we were on date like a couple months, 3 months. But I knew right then I said, that's gonna be my wife because I sensed it right then and there. Then in April, I proposed. And then even though we couldn't do nothing because of COVID, we just there. I got on my knee and I asked you to marry me. And it was just like doing the wedding process. Everything just fell into place. I mean, we had a wedding ship in probably about $8,000 or $9,000. We only paid back
Yeah,
2 or 3.
yeah.
And so it
If
was
that
show. It
much.
was that much. It showed me that way. Showed me what God can do.
Mhm.
And I just showed how amazing He is. And then I was just so glad, one of the easiest, other than marrying you, one of the best decisions I ever made when they say, who's gonna be your best man? I was like, I'm gonna have two of them.
Yeah.
Cause I'm gonna have my kids, I'm gonna have my boys with me. Cause they stood by me when everybody else left. They stood right there beside me when I didn't have the money to do the things I wanted to do for them. They stood right by me anyway. So I wanted them by my side. And so we've been married, be 5 years this year. And then August 26th, 2023. It was just a normal day. Woke up on the way to work. And then my son called me and said, my youngest son been in a terrible accident. So I dropped everything to go. Marcus called me and told me to say they moving, they moving. I said, okay. So I was like, okay, okay, God, they good, they good. And so we was on our way to Charlotte and they said they can't find Kale.
Mhm.
And I said, what do you mean they can't find him? So we calling around trying to find him. And then about 5 minutes before we pulled up in that hospital, they said he's gone. I said, how? I said, God, I don't understand that. That don't make sense to me. When my dad died, I kind of understood it. He was 38, but he had a brain tumor. He had cancer. I had to understand. My mom died. She had a massive heart attack. I understood it. But this one right here hit different. I didn't understand this. This didn't make sense. I said, God, make this make sense. And as I got that call and I fell on that ground, the mother of the other person that was inside the car, my son, she embraced me. And then she didn't know if her son was gonna live or die at that time. And so I got up. When I got up, something came a hold of me, and I started inspiring, talking to all these young people around. I don't know how many young people around me. And I started inspiring them. Say, y'all need to start forgiveness, get together, love on each other, did it all that. And then afterwards, and I was just like, God, I done seen people, I done prayed for people to get cured from cancer. I done seen homeboys get cured from COVID. But when I prayed for you to save my son, he died on the side of the road. I was angry. I was confused. I was frustrated. I said, this don't make sense. Make this make sense. And then afterwards, I prayed for the other young man. I'm gonna tell you, God was still good. Even in the midst I lost my son. He had an accident that Saturday. He walked out that hospital that Sunday. Only with a bandage over his head. And during that whole week, I was just like, God, I was like, I couldn't. You gotta make sense. I just don't understand this. And then I said, Lord, my son didn't have no life insurance. God, how am I gonna pay for this funeral? Because I want my son to be buried. How am I gonna do this? I didn't see it. I didn't see how I was gonna do this. And my brother-in-law told me, he said, just call your family. I got a big, huge family on the Ways and the Rosebud on my mom's side.
Yeah.
So I asked him. God is so good because I had the money about 2 days.
And the next within the remainder within a week. Yeah. So that definitely, because of course we were involved in the conversations together, and just knowing that, even when I stated on a previous episode that sis left, that saying with me, either it's going to work out or it's going to work out. And I would repeat that over and over and just believe God for what I knew He could do. What seems impossible for us, nothing is impossible for Him. And, it also, during that time, it also um, elevated your faith to another level, because I heard you say, why me? But later on, I heard you change that to why not me?
Yeah, I heard that doing the divorce, and I was like asking God, I said, why am I going through the divorce? I said, why me, God? I said, why me? He said, why not you? That's all he kept saying, why not you? And so we just always think that I always tell now I learn to appreciate people think a blessing is cause I got a house, I got a car, I got money in the bank, I got things. But God said, man, you got your health, you got your strength, you got people that love you around you. That's way more important than any materialistic thing, because you can't take this stuff with you. You're gonna leave this world with nothing. You came into this world with nothing, you're gonna leave this world with nothing. But what one thing my brother-in-law preached one time, what you do between the dashes? What you doing between that born date until your death date? What you doing between? How many people impact? How many lives you gonna impact? And like say God's plan, like I didn't see myself. I always say a parent should not have to bury their child.
Yeah.
That should be the other way around. But I'm here, and losing my mom kind of helped me with Kale a little bit. It kind of helped because I know a pain like that, but I do good for most of the time. I do good coping with my son's death, but every now and then, just like I just sit back and I'm like, I can't believe that boy ain't here.
Yeah.
It's still to this day, I'm still like, I just can't believe he ain't him. And just to see that pain in my oldest son, because he literally watched his brother die in front of him.
Yeah.
So to see that pain and see that guilt he had to deal with, man, as a parent, that hurt me because, especially as a dad, you want to fix things. I can't fix that. It's the only person who can fix that is God.
Mm.
God got me in there for him. I can't. I can talk to him. I can do things with him. I can say things, but is he gonna have to give it to God? Him and God gonna have to have that close relationship together to mend that. And so I pray daily. You know, we pray daily for Matthew 6:33 over his life, and so that because he calls me a lot, he calls me a lot hurting, and and sometimes I just let him talk. I just let him talk, and I've been trying to, like, you know, one of the things that the legacy I try to leave since my son had passed is, we doing things like going to the
Yes.
Cowboy game, going to South Carolina games. I still buy 4 tickets, even though I don't have to buy 4 tickets. I still buy 4 tickets because that's one of the that's how I'm gonna carry Kale's legacy. I'm still gonna buy 4 tickets because if he was here, I would still buy 4 tickets anyway. So that's kind of like my way of still keep his memory alive. So that's why I do it. And like I said, that boy gonna be with me forever, in my heart forever. Cause my son, he was quiet, but
Yeah.
once he get to know you,
Such a sweet spirit.
yeah, once he get to
Yes.
know you, he'll open up to you. But it just like it hurts me. It still hurts me that all the stuff we experiencing now, and that he's not here to physically be there with us. And like I said, I haven't been to where his accident happened. I ain't been there yet. I haven't been there yet. I say one day I'll do it, but right now I just can't do that. And I haven't been to his graveyard site yet since the funeral. So I haven't done that yet. But for Lord willing, I'm gonna do it. And it just I just like to encourage somebody that's lost a child or lost loved ones close to you, man. Sometimes you just got to give it to God, man. I know that. See, the enemy, when I was going through all that, all he kept saying was, "See, you serving this God, but look here, you pray for all these people to get healed from cancer and did all this, and they got healed and all that. But when it's time to pray for your son, he didn't do nothing. Your son died. The worst case scenario happened." And so I had to battle that, and then I'm also battling, like, okay, since my son died at 24, my dad died at 38, my mom died at 47. I'm sitting here looking like, okay, when my time coming? Because I'm seeing people dying early in my family. I'm like, okay, when my time coming? So I'm I've been wrestling with that as well. And see, the enemy, he be coming at me hard and coming about my son. Cause at first when it happened, every time my son called, I was just like, okay, is he calling me cause something finna happen? Cause I never get that phone call as long as I live. I never forget his voice when he said Kev in that accident. I never get that as long as I live, and I always, even though I was going through all that, I still was getting my inspiration every day. I was still doing it. Even though I didn't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it.
That's one of the things that I often talk about because even through the mourning process, just looking at you, you inspire me to keep moving forward. And when you talk about your inspiration, make sure that the audience knows what you're referring to. Give them the name of what you do on
Um,
Facebook.
every day I post renew and transform. I put little scriptures out and I put little comments, try to inspire people. I do it every day. Um, I have a men's group. We meet every Sunday at 7 o'clock, and I I send it to them every morning. I send it to them, and I got a couple homeboys on side. I send it to them every day. You know, and reason why I do that because I know what it's like to be by yourself when you isolated and the devil got 5 or 6 different situations in your head, and he talking about this and he wants you to do this, and you want to say, okay, you need to take your life, you need to drive your car in this tree, you need to take this knife and stab yourself in the heart. See, he wanted me to do it quick. He didn't want me to take no pills and try to slow. He wanted me to take myself out quick. And so I know that feeling when you ain't got nobody to talk to, you don't have nobody there for you. So, and I thank God for 2 brothers that really inspired me to do this. Is Herbert Poge. He live in South Indian South. He got a barbershop in Indian South Carolina. He invited me to a men's about like a men's gathering at one time in his barbershop. And man, it was so awesome. I ain't never been nothing like that. We weren't seeing, women don't have no, women do it all the time, but I ain't never seen no men do it. So we in there, and I was seeing how this brother went through this, and this brother was going through this, and I'm like, and then you find out that we got more in common than you think. And now the men Bible stuff we at now, I had a brother going through about the same thing I was going through, and he took out a leap of faith, and now his life it's taken off. And I love it the way, and I heard some of my men late, they say I'm sharing it with other men, and that's what I want. Because I don't want to just keep it to myself. I want to get out there. I want to share with others. I want because man, we gotta talk. And then see, men don't talk. All we sit there and say, we fine, we good, we okay, it's all right. And deep down inside, we not all right. And they say, I always say, men don't cry, and that's the biggest lie. That's the biggest lie. Jesus cried. So if Jesus cried, so would they,
Right. What does that
what
say
they
for
tell
the
you?
other man?
So,
Yes.
but it just it's it's good. I always tell my son, I say, don't ever think you too man enough to cry. Don't man enough to say you don't need no help. Don't never say that. Don't never just sit. Always tell him, I say, don't never sit at home in York and thinking that you ain't got nobody, or if you need help, that I'm not here. I'm a phone call away. You know that.
Yes.
I always tell him that, and I always encourage him, and I try to encourage all the young men out there. You know, I didn't grow up. I grew up without a dad. My dad died when I was 6 years old, so I didn't have no man to tell me how to do things, build things, or how to talk to girls, and
Yeah.
I didn't have nobody to do things with like that. So I thought, when I say, okay, if God bless me be a father one day, I'm gonna do them things. So that's what I done.
And it's evident because even when the first time that I met the boys, it was such an honor just to see the adoration that they held for you. It was obvious that they had a high level of respect and love for you. And I commend you for, because a lot of times, we talk about single mothers, but there are some single fathers, and they are raising their children, and they're doing it by themselves. And some the same way that a woman would say, sometimes it's hard. What makes it different when it's a man? A man could experience those same challenges. Sometimes it's financial, and just not having, of course, with you having boys, a man could you're pouring into your boys like a man should. However, even men still appreciate their mom. They need something from their mom as well. And so not having that in you, you're having to raise them without um, that inside the household. Yeah, that's big. That's major.
Yeah, I can literally say my son saved my life in 2004. I can literally say they saved my life, because when all that going on, they was in football,
Hmm.
and they was they would always come back home. Yeah, we did this in practice, and I'll go to their practice. I would go to their games, and that was like almost like a getaway, just to get away from what I was going through. It was just like a getaway. And then that year they went to state,
Hmm.
and that really just helped me, because they really didn't have no business getting the state that year,
Yeah.
but they got there, and it was just like they would come home and say, "Daddy, we one game away, we going." Then when they finally went to state, man, it was just so much joy, man. It was literally like we didn't see this coming, and it was almost like, okay, that's why you gotta stay the course. Even
Mm,
when you living for God, you might not see it today, you might not see it tomorrow, you might not see it 3 weeks from now. It might take 5 years,
mhm.
but if you stay the course and you do what God tells you to do, I promise you, He'll come through. And literally, that's how I try to live my life. They really inspired me that year because that was unbelievable, man. Even though they didn't win it, it was still it was exciting just to see them. I watched them little young boys grow up from little league all the way up, and I watched them, and we seen the talent there, but we to see them finally put that
Yeah,
talent together, it was unbelievable. So, and they inspired me that year, and I said, they ain't quit. I ain't quitting either.
I love
So,
it. Yes. Well, one of the things that, I like to say that, because you said you won't quit, inspired you not to quit. One of the things is that, when we're going through something, we have to remember that there is another side of through. And if you stay the course, if you believe God and trust God through the process, you will get through that process. And I always say that the other side of through is victory because we are in Christ and Christ is victorious. And because I'm a joint heir with Christ, everything he has, I got. So I got victory. So I might be going through a process, but in the end, well, I'm already walking victoriously and I'm going to see the full manifestation of the victory. So thank you for joining me,
you're
husband.
welcome.
Well, is there any last words you want to say to the audience if you had 30 seconds to inspire someone?
Um, I encourage you to follow me on my page, Renew Transform. If you want somebody to inspire, I'm here to inspire. I'm here to help. I ain't gonna judge you or nothing like that. We just want. I want you to find the Lord. And also, we open door ministry, men's Bible study at 7 o'clock on Sundays. If you ain't doing anything, join. We go from 7 to 8. Every now and then we might go over 8 a little bit, but man, it's a blessing because you find out you got brothers that are going through some things. Then I'm gonna listen to this last thing I'm gonna say. When I lost my son, I found out two of my other brothers had went through it. We never talked about it, but we found out they went through it too. So
Yes.
so it's good to have men you can talk to.
Yeah, when you start to open up and communicate, you'll find that oftentimes your experiences are alike. And so, thank you so much for sharing that and being so transparent and open with that part of your journey. And so, um, thank you all for joining us today, me, my king, and I. And again, I want to remind you all that I am not, you are not, we are not inadequate in God's eyes. We are beautifully reconstructed. Until next time.
To transform and renew me now, beautifully beautifully reconstructed. I'm beautifully reconstructed, beautifully reconstructed.